an entire generation, people have experienced Star Wars the only way it's been possible, on the TV screen. But if you've only seen it this way, you haven't seen it at all.
Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you, as you can tell, an audio video, because we've got to show pictures here, so it's better just to talk about this, because we're going to go back to the summer of 1997. Star Wars was back on the minds of many people that had sadly moved on from Star Wars. Why they would do that, I really don't know. In the first half of the year, Lucasfilm had released a special edition of the original Star Wars film, and this brought back some people that had moved on from Star Wars back into Star Wars. A few years before that, Hasbro had brought Star Wars back to the toy stores with its Power of the Force line, to the delight of not only kids, but the kid at heart Star Wars fans. Over on the internet, that's the internet of the 90s, collectors were trading, selling, buying up the new Star Wars Kenner, now under Hasbro, action figures. They were looking for short lightsabers in a long lightsaber trade, a half or a full circle on Boba Fett. And during the summer of 1997, during the frenzy of the return of Star Wars, another toy line started to pop up on the collectors' news groups. First, it just started with people asking about it, looking to buy them, or to figure out exactly what they were. It seems that some imported bootleg action figures based on the 1995 Star Wars line was hitting comic book stores, flea market, toy shows, and wherever else you could buy bootleg or really cheap stuff. No one was really sure where they were coming from, but it seems they were flooding in. There were only 7 of them, and even if they seemed to be based on the mold from the 1995 line, these were about 6 inches tall. The Kenner line was almost 4 inches. A few months before the Galaxy Empire figures started to show up, another bootleg line called Galaxy Cop had made its way into the US. These were a little different. Sure, they were ripping off Star Wars, but they didn't do it as blatantly like this line was. These looked like the same figures, again except for the size and the color. Galaxy Empire was the hottest Star Wars bootlegs of summer 1997. The only 7 figures released were Luke Skywalker, dressed in black rather than white, Han Solo in a brown vest, light blue pants, and weird walled eyes. Darth Vader was sporting gold shoulder pads. The Stormtrooper came with a huge rifle and blue gloves. There were 2 different Chewbacca's released. First, a normal Chewbacca that looks almost identical except for the size of the Hasbro one. However, the color seems to be a more lighter gray. The other Chewbacca was based on Kenner's Shadows of the Empire Bounty Hunter Chewbacca. You know that one, the one with the flat top. And the 7th figure was Boba Fett, with a more shinier look. These figures were bootlegs for sure, and made of cheap plastic. But overall, if you didn't handle them too much, they looked really well done. The card back was all the same. The Galaxy Empire logo, with a Falcon escaping a Star Destroyer. And the back of the card was just cardboard. At the time, collectors were trading them. Some was asking 2 for 1 of the current Kenner line, but some felt that was crazy for a bootleg. Crazy or not, they were hot, and people were selling, buying, and trading them. Today, however, they can easily be found on eBay, often going unsold. Those that do sell have sold for around $10, but if you really want one in your collection, you can find it for a lot less. For a bootleg line, they seem to have flooded the US market, from comic book stores, flea markets, toy shows, and more. Unlike the bootleg of the vintage era, these never really caught much attention outside of the diehard online collector world of the mid to late 90s. Most of the day, they're just being laughed at on websites that talk about Star Wars bootlegs. Well, that's a look at Galaxy Empire, the Star Wars bootleg action figure line based on the 1995 Power of the Force Kenner line. Well, I want to thank you for watching. As always, thumb up so you like my content, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk again.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.